Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Techno Education Academy. In this video lecture, we will discuss the working principle of pressure gauge. First of all, I would like to introduce what is mountain in the boiler. Mountain means the necessary part in the boiler. So those part in the boiler are attached with the boiler for the safety purpose. It is called mountains. And accessories means those part in the boiler, okay, which is required to improve the performance of the boiler. Okay, it is not necessary, but whenever we use it, at that time we can increase the performance of the boiler. It is called accessories. So pressure gauge is a mounting necessary part in the boiler. The function of a pressure gauge is to measure the pressure exerted inside the vessel. As we know that in a boiler cell, bottom side the water is there, which density is higher than steam, and top side the steam will remain present. So the construction of the pressure gauge is simple. Here you can see that the interior of a Bourdon tube pressure gauge, this gauge is generally fitted on the front side of the boiler cell, so the boiler operator can see the reading of the pressure in a pressure gauge. It is fitted to the steam space of the boiler cell. As we have already discussed, in a cell, top side the steam will remain, and bottom side of the vessel the water will remain present, and steam will occupy more space and its pressure is higher. Okay, so for the safety purpose we need to measure the pressure of the steam. So for that purpose here we are using pressure gauge to measure the pressure of steam, and it is fitted to the steam space of the boiler cell with the help of an inverted siphon. It is usually constructed to indicate up to the double or the maximum working pressure for the safety purpose. Its dial is graduated to read the pressure in bar or PSI. PSI means pound square inch. Both are the unit of pressure, which is more than atmospheric pressure, which is called gauge pressure. The siphon of the gauge is always full of water, or we can say it is full with condensed steam. The water in the U-tube siphon prevents the steam from coming in contact with the spring tube. This will reduce overheating and thermal stresses in the spring tube. As we know that thermal stresses, it is due to the temperature difference. Okay, so this will reduce the overheating and thermal stresses in spring tube because of the presence of water in this U-tube siphon tube. Three-way cock is provided for connecting the boiler pressure gauge to the steam space. Here you can see that this is a three-way cock and its connection. Now we will discuss the construction and working of Bourdon tube pressure gauge. It consists of a Bourdon spring tube ABC. It is made up of copper and bent into circular shape. This tube has an elliptical section. The end A of the tube is plugged. The other end C is connected to the hollow block E. Here you can see that this is a hollow block E. The lower portion of this block is threaded, and the block E has small opening for the entrance of steam or water from the boiler. The end A is connected to the link R. This is pivoted at hinge H. Here you can see that this is hinge H, and this carries a tooth sector. This can swing about hinge H. The small pinion meshes with this sector, and pinion carries a pointer P fitted on its spindle. To indicate the pressure of steam inside the boiler, this pointer moves on a graduated dial or scale. Now we will discuss the working principle of pressure gauge, how it's work. The movement of the free end of the elliptical tube is proportional to the difference between external and internal pressure on the tubes. Since the outside pressure on the tube is atmospheric, and the movement of the free end is measure of the boiler pressure, which is above atmospheric pressure, or we can say gauge pressure. The pressure gauge is connected with the boiler steam space through a U-tube siphon, and the U-shaped siphon pipe contains water which fills the Bourdon tube. The pressure of the steam acting through the water on the inside of the tube tries to make the tube circular. One end is fixed and the other end movable. Here you can see that the one end is fixed and the another end it's a free. So the movement at the free end is proportional to the difference of pressure. Because of the pinion and gear arrangement, the slight movement of the Bourdon tube is magnified considerably and the point gives a maximum deflection which can be read on the scale. So this is the working principle of pressure gauge. I hope this content it will be helpful to you. If you would like to watch this type of more technical videos, then please subscribe our channel. Thank you friends for watching this video.